At Total Pharmacy Care, we fill your prescriptions and answer any questions about your medications. No distractions and no long lines. Tell your doctor to send your prescriptions to Total Pharmacy Care. Welcome back to the Bank On It podcast. It's episode number 38. Shout out to Kurt Schilling. I want to say thank you first to our sponsors, Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. Both facilities treat your loved ones with care and respect. They offer therapy, daily activities, exquisite cuisine in a home-like setting to make your family members feel at home. Call to schedule an appointment today at Cedar Creek. Call Jessica Thacker at 432-8243. And Good Shepherd, call 456-8725. Caring for your loved ones is what we do best. And as you can see, we're joined by a couple of special guests today. Josh Blankenship from the Appalachian newspapers and Wes Bryant, head women's basketball coach at Jenkins, here to tell us a little bit about the upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, what an intro, Wes. I think they get better and better each time. But I can't do that to Wes, so Wes, just kind of talk about, the coming season. Entering your fourth year at Jenkins, just wrapped up summer play. Dead period's still going on, but, just kind of talk about the summer and what y'all did this summer.
Well, this summer has been slightly difficult for us. We're going under renovations at the school. We're getting new locker rooms, which they look pretty sweet. We're getting the whole school's being redone. They've not allowed us to be in the gym any this summer, which kind of
That makes it tough.
That's been pretty hard. Luckily, Dorton Elementary has been kind and let us practice there a couple of days, but still makes it pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a trivia question for you guys. What school in Eastern Kentucky has produced the most Division I athletes in the last 5 years?
I feel like this has got to be a trick question. I'll let you go first, though.
I think I know the answer is Jenkins.
That's what I was going to say.
My answer wasn't Jenkins, but
it's got to be Jenkins, right?
It is.
Okay.
Whitney Creech is at Western Kentucky, and To Be Life of Watts is at Siena. So, that's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Expectations for this season, I always have high expectations. We're one of the top 10 small schools in the state, but we don't schedule like it.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to take an 80-point thrashing than beat somebody for 80. That's just, my philosophy and everything.
Well, it's like a competition thing. Yeah.
It is. It's one of those things I would much rather somebody come to me and say, man, why did you schedule Campbell County than why did you beat such and such that bad?
Yeah.
10-1, I'd much rather you think I'm an idiot than think I'm a butthole.
Right.
But this is the first year that I can't say that we're young, so I have some expectations on the season.
Yeah, and you got your sisters playing. That's where the bulk of your scoring came last year. But anybody who follows high school basketball knows that Jenkins is always behind the eight ball as far as numbers. Just tell the people out there, who don't know, like, the struggles that it is, because, you see a lot of teams, they got 15 kids to choose from, and if somebody gets in foul trouble, not a big deal, they can go to whoever. That's not the case with you all at Jenkins. I think most of the time you have 6, 7 players. So,
well, my first year we had 9, which, me and my assistant coach took turns scrimmaging with them. My second year we had 7, which was really tough, but we played a full JV and a full varsity schedule with 7 girls. I had 2 seniors, 2 freshmen, 2 8th graders, and like a 7th grader, and we played every JV game on the schedule that year. I actually had 2 coaches cancel JV games because they said they didn't have enough kids and they had 13 on the book. So, that's, I'm not going to name drop or blast, but that happened. Then last year we had about 9. Which we had a game here at the here at the Expo, and I'm sure Randy
played
was
these
here.
Ridge tough. Yeah.
And I had a girl with 4 fouls who fouled out in the third quarter. Well, a lot of people, why didn't you take her out of the game? And my response back was, look at the bench.
Yeah, who am I going to throw in?
It's easy. And then, a lot of people say, well, I think you would be more successful if you played this type of defense. Well, my thing is do you think I like playing a 2-3 zone for 32 minutes?
I'm not sure any coach likes playing a 2-3 zone.
Do you think I don't want to press with run a 1-2-1-1 or a 2-2-1? Love to. Like when we had Lala, it'd been great to throw out a 1-2-1-1 with her, at the inbounds.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't really do that. You got to know your personnel.
Right.
and plays. Somebody said, well, y'all don't really run a lot. Come to practice.
Yeah.
You know, I got a play where a girl takes 2 steps to the right and another girl takes 2 steps to the left, and 80% of the time I got to call a timeout and show one of them what they got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gotten better every year I've been there. We're competing at the middle school and elementary levels, which is what it takes. These girls that are high schoolers, they know and they've been preached to that they're the foundation, that they're not going to reap the success of the future. But when that future success comes, everybody knows
Who started
where it
it?
came
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
It come from this foundation.
I like that.
You know, a lot of our middle school the last couple of years, our C team last year was the, I think, second best C team in the county. Our B team was the second best B team in the county. Our A team was 4th place. We've got a really good 4th grade group that's going to be 5th graders now. And then I look even further down than that. I mean, I got a couple girls in 3rd and 4th grade who's already doing a Euro step and a pro hop.
Wow.
That's big stuff, and that's what we're building towards.
Yeah.
And you know, I got a daughter who's 17 months old. She comes to the gym every day, and when everybody says, well, are you invested in the program here? Yeah, 100% invested in the program. I'm already talking to parents about, you know, trying to lower the peewee age limit to 4. And it's not expecting those kids to come up and being able to do a crossover. It's just coming up to the gym, getting a ball in your hand, running around for 20 minutes, and then going home.
Right.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
You get them in there early, get them kind of liking it, make it fun for them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can yell at them later.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about the season and what's going on with Jenkins?
We've got a couple kids, as you know, my sisters, Kristen and Jerica. They're 2 girls that really helped us a lot. And then we've got another girl named Lindsay Rose. She's worked her butt off this off season. She's been with a trainer, I think, 7-8 months now. And you know, our starting lineup this year, just looking at summer basketball, we're going to start 3 juniors, a sophomore, and an 8th grader. So we're still going to be kind of young, but it is what it is. We'll take our lumps and we'll get better. I mean, you've seen that as years went on, we've gotten better. We've had games, district teams beat us 40 or 50-40, and then, you know, 15-20. And I would just like to say that I've heard a lot of coaches lately talk about unfair treatments and this and that. Well, come to Jenkins.
Yeah.
You'll really see unfair treatments.
Right. Give you a little perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would trade with them because I'm
Right.
I'm happy where I'm at.
100%.
But come get your eyes open.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing what the girls can do this year in the basketball season, and I, for one, will definitely be rooting for you guys. And I know these guys got to keep it a little impartial, but I have a feeling we'll all be pulling for you. I'll be looking for you to have a good season this year.
Maybe y'all can come do a podcast at a game.
Definitely. That's a
Absolutely.
great idea, actually. So we'll be looking forward to that. And coming back, one of the big tragic things that happened over the weekend, Big Blue Nation, was the passing of Jared Lorenzen. Somebody who, for me, at least, I think I've said this before, my favorite quarterback of all time. I loved watching the guy. I mean, he was a quarterback at UK, when I was a teenager. UK was not very good in those days. It was UK football.
Yeah, it was.
But Jared Lorenzen was absolutely electric.
Oh,
he was a blast to watch. And
So entertaining.
an unconventional quarterback
Yeah.
from his number, 22, to just the way that he played. And you didn't expect to see a guy that big. He had great feet.
Oh, yeah. And I remember going to some games when he was playing. I was in college at EKU at the time, and I would go up and watch some UK games. And you would see him walk out on the field, and you would be like, who's this offensive lineman?
Yeah.
Why is he lining up in the backfield? And then you're like,
He's the quarterback?
That's
Yeah.
Lorenz. That's the quarterback. Like, you knew he was big, and you heard the stories, but until you saw him, you didn't really understand. But man, what an arm, what a competitor.
Yeah.
I mean, some classic games. The Florida game, that's always sticks
Well, and
out
then
to me.
he was always just like oddly athletic. Like he made a lot of athletic plays that you just wouldn't expect from like a guy like that.
And he was a great athlete in high school. I mean,
Yeah.
I know his
Yeah.
team in basketball won state championship for Thomas Islands. He was a great quarterback. I think he was Mr. Football his senior year. And then he played baseball. He was a really good baseball player too. And side note, played football right here at the Appalachian Wireless Arena.
Yeah, and that's the only time I've ever got to speak to Lorenzen was when he played for the River Monsters. They were coming up here to play the East Kentucky Energy. UPike quarterback or coach now, Al Holland was the quarterback for the Energy, and it was the billing of the Big Biscuit versus the Hefty Lefty. So me and Wes were actually at the game, and the first play of the game, Lorenzen drops back, and he just throws a rifle, and it goes into, and it was one of the saddest things I've seen at the time, but he still had a cannon, and, when he throws this rifle, and you're on top of him in the Arena League, he hits a little girl in the face, and it was just, it was crazy to see something like that. And, I never knew how the little girl was. I think she was okay after that, but man, that had to hurt. Like, I just remember seeing the velocity. Seeing that stuff like that in person. I know you were there. That was crazy to watch.
I saw it twice.
Yeah, it was nuts, man. Like,
and a guy like that, I think a lot of times people forget, backed up Eli Manning. Guy had a Super Bowl ring.
Super Bowl ring.
Was a part of the team that took down the undefeated Patriots, which I was over the moon to see. Yeah. And just an absolute Kentucky legend. By most accounts that I've heard, just an incredible person, did a lot for the community. Was often a guest host on KSR, which I'm a big fan of. And a guy that, we know he really struggled with his weight later on in his life. He was always a big guy, but kind of got out of control.
That's the sad thing is, sometimes you don't know what people are dealing with or what. You just see them on the field. You don't know what they're dealing with. And that seemed to be one of the things that was always hindered him was his weight and his size. So.
Well, definitely gonna miss Jared Lorenzen. We were all pretty sad to see that happen, but always will be remembered in the hearts and minds of Big Blue Nation. All Kentucky football fans is it's a hard road being a Kentucky football fan. Up until last year, tough road. So guys that really stand out are going to be loved forever by the fans. And listen, we come to an end of a pretty crazy NBA free agency period, which to me it's very entertaining to see where these guys are going to go.
Great for basketball.
People are all over the place. People are really invested in where some of these big stars are moving. This is the way that the NBA is now. Guys are not staying with one team very long. They're kind of moving around, teaming up in different places, and just thoughts on.
I think the NBA offseason now is more entertaining than the season, in my opinion, because every summer there's something going on. And now, to me, it's more about the entertainment value of who's going to play together.
Yeah.
Now, to me, it seems like the NBA now is, I want to play with this guy or this guy. It's not about a team or whatever now. It's just like, what more of my friends or one of my buddies I want to try to partner up with.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what the Kawhi situation really was, is he wanted to play with Paul George, found a way to make that happen. And the biggest thing that was crazy to me about that, he kept all the insiders. Nobody saw that coming. Woj didn't say it. Steven, none of these guys saw it. That was great to see.
After a couple days in, you start hearing reports like it's for sure that he's going to go to the Lakers. And then
Or the Raptors.
Yeah, because you watch the Clippers miss out on Jimmy Butler, who goes to Miami, and then they don't sign Kyrie or KD. So you're like, well, who are they going to get for Kawhi to have a running mate? And if they can't get him one, why would he go there?
Yeah, and I think what Kawhi did, and this was just kind of my thoughts, and I could be totally off on this. I think he just used the Lakers to buy some time, get the media off his chest, and see, you just keep people guessing. I think he just used the Lakers to broker this deal and buy him some time.
Well, and he's not a guy, for me anyway. I never anticipated that he was going to voluntarily go and want to play with LeBron.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we'll go ahead and then.
LeBron, I'm a basketball purist. First and foremost, there's no way I can play with LeBron James.
Yeah.
I couldn't play with somebody who dictates everything that I do
100%.
or tries to dictate every play that's called and anything that's called. And Kawhi's just there to play ball.
Yeah.
Alpha.
Well, I mean, I think the beauty
Kawhi's
is,
lead by example, not by,
Yes.
Kawhi's going to go out there. He's not going to say a word. He's going to score 30, have 15 boards, and have 11 assists, 2 blocks, 6 steals.
And one of the very few superstars you see that are like that anymore.
I love it.
Yeah.
He's more of a throwback to where he wants to beat the Bass instead of joining up with them, I feel. I mean,
And a huge part of the trade, obviously, from what I've read this morning, was that OKC gets Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back in return. Listen.
and a ton of draft picks.
A ton of draft picks.
And let's not forget they get Danilo Gallinari.
Oh, had a great year last year.
Some much needed shooting that they needed.
Yeah, but I mean that kind of puts OKC in a rebuild, and they were in good shape. Now the rumor is they're going to try to deal Russell Westbrook, and who knows where that's going to
I
unfold.
think Miami was one of the preferred destinations.
Hey, listen, man, I have nothing against Russell Westbrook. The guy is a phenomenal basketball player. He's averaged a triple-double 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It's ungodly, but a point guard that can't shoot, to me, like
He's not relevant anymore.
I don't want to pay him $40 million. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to pay him $40 million.
And you got a guy that's played with KD
win with KD
and
James Harden.
And Ibaka, too.
And Ibaka. Yeah, Ibaka in his prime. It seems to be a tough look for Russell Westbrook, who for a fact is going to want to get out of OKC at this point. But if you look at that Clippers roster now, what a defensive nightmare those guys are going to be.
Yeah.
Beverly.
Kawhi and PG,
oh my goodness! I mean, they are
Montrezl
loaded.
Harrell. Let's not forget about him.
They are loaded.
Definitely a shot blocker, going to help you on the offensive and defensive boards.
And we all know that the NBA is a different season once the playoffs start. So that's a playoff team. I mean, to me, when you're defensive first like that and you got those superstars who can do both, it's going to be scary.
All right. Well, let me ask you guys this. Based on, I guess what we've talked about now and what we've seen happen throughout the free agency, who's your early season title favorite?
I would say Clippers.
Sixers.
Really? I like the Sixers too. I like the Bucks, and
I like Utah. I think Utah made some nice moves, guys. And I'm
not and the Nuggets. Don't forget about the Nuggets.
And they made the right moves just by staying pat, just letting those young dudes develop. Because I think Jamal Murray is one step away from being a star.
And they might have the best center in the game.
Yeah,
and honestly, all around, I think he is. Now I'm the type of dude I look at Anthony Davis, and I think that's my modern day prototype center. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But then you go to Jokic, and
he's like
offense.
And LeBron just hates this.
Oh, he's probably eating him up. It's probably eating him up. Man.
He does. He can't stand anything about this. I mean, LeBron is a guy that likes to be the center of attention. I feel like a lot of times likes to manufacture a little bit of drama, and for the attention to shift to another team in the city in the same arena that he's playing in.
It's going to be some drama there probably in LA this coming season, so it could get very, very interesting.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun to see.
Definitely am amped up for the battle for the Staples Center, and especially if they both make the playoffs, it's going to make it even more intense.
I don't even think it's a battle.
No, I don't. I actually don't either, man, because the Clippers supporting cast is head and shoulder above the Lakers.
Lakers gave everything away for Davis.
Yeah, everything. They've got nothing to surround him with. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I know there's
in the modern NBA. Me and Randy's been talking about this for years. The second unit is as important as the first unit,
100%.
Maybe more important.
And that's why I go back to the Sixers, as my original pick, because the Sixers are always going to have a relevant and great center on the floor. When you've got Al Horford, Joel Embiid, and then you've got Ben Simmons. And they finally got another good shooter. They lost Redick. Everybody said they lost their shooting, but they got Josh Richardson.
Who is also a better defender than J.J. Redick. So that helps them out even more.
J.J. can't spell defense.
Yeah. And Embiid and both Embiid and Simmons are just beginning to enter their prime playing years. If they're
even
here yet.
I think Simmons is probably a couple years away from his prime still. So.
Now, I've heard some rumblings, and it's just rumblings, but I've heard that the Sixers have told Ben Simmons that he has the green light. Go out there, if you're open, take a shot. It's not going to kill you. Just
It's not.
if you're open, shoot it. You have to learn
he's-
how to shoot.
Yeah,
It's not, but in the playoffs, that could be a detriment because
Yeah.
I mean-
playoff basketball is a totally different game. But regular season, it doesn't matter.
Like as an NBA player, well, not me as an NBA player, but I'm thinking as an NBA player. Like if I was an NBA player in the regular season, I'm trying to do things that's going to help me progress, like as far as a player. When I get to the playoffs, I'm going to do what I know I can do. I'm not
Every
going
game's a
to.
scrimmage until it matters.
Yeah. Until it matters.
Yeah.
It's 82 games. Who really cares?
In the East, if you win 30, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
You
That's
can have
it.
a losing record
That's
in the
it.
East and make the playoffs.
so yeah. It's,
and it's the Bucks and it looks like right now it's the Bucks, Sixers, and everybody else. We'll see what the Heat end up doing. I know they signed Jimmy
the
Butler,
Celtics picking up Kemba.
Kimba,
Well,
big
That's a
pickup.
better fit for their team.
and a lot of
Team
people,
wise, chemistry wise.
a lot of people seem to be high on the Pacers too, with healthy Victor Oladipo and some of the moves that they made. So we'll see how it shakes out. But again, like it's been a lot of the years past, seems like Western Conference is a lot heavier than the Eastern Conference.
It's just so much deeper. Like
It is.
everybody has got like a stud player
The
in the
projections
West.
of the last team in the West is like 43 wins.
Yeah.
And the projections of the last team in the East, I really think was like 35 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. But the Warriors, you can't discount the Warriors.
No, as long as they have Steph
Who
Curry.
messed around and traded for D'Angelo Russell?
That's-
Don't even know how you do that.
Well, I mean, they
That's
didn't want to
nuts.
just lose KD for nothing, so that's what they got in return. But it's still not.
Well, I just imagine they went
That's
to the
not a
Nets and they were like,
Yeah.
listen, let us do you guys a favor here. We'll sign KD to the 5-year max. You'll get that 5th year. And then you just give us D'Angelo Russell, and we'll count it as good.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see, and it's got us talking about the NBA in July.
And but speaking of July, it's All-Star break.
Yep.
Last thing before we wrap up, I know you want to talk a little bit about the home
No,
run
just
derby.
real quick. Who you got? Who
I
you
got Vlad Jr. in a home run derby.
Vlad Jr. You got Josh Bell, Vlad Jr., Jock Peterson, Pete Alonso, Carlos Santana, who it's in his home park, Matt Chapman, Alex Bregman, Ronald Acuna is the guy that I kind of tend to want to sway to. The odds-on favorite, Vlad Jr., Josh Bell, 7-2 and 9-2 respectively.
I I like Pete Alonso. I mean,
There you
I
go.
like him. I used to be a Mets fan. I'm not anymore, but
Yeah.
I just kind of gave up on
What's your
Major
gut
League
feeling on this
Baseball
one?
altogether at one
I've
point.
not watched baseball since the Black Sox through the World Series in 1988.
Yeah.
So,
Well, listen, I mean, it almost never happens that the favorite wins this.
No, ever.
Bryce Harper won it last year, but I would almost say that was thrown. It was in his home park. He was going to win. that
Oh, yeah.
thing.
yeah.
But we'll see.
Is the Derby still messed up to where they can hit 38 home runs in the first round and still lose?
They
They
change
changed the
every year.
format.
They
Yeah, they
change every
changed the
year.
format a little bit. It's still, you can go off. Like, I think you're talking about how Josh Hamilton did.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking Larry Walker back.
Oh,
in,
yeah.
Back in the day, he
Yeah.
had like 39 in the first round and got beat.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I think it's still. Well, they changed the format so much, it's so hard to keep up with.
I'm not even going to try to dissect it.
What I want to see is a guy hitting a baseball and one of those softball home run guys.
Yeah.
I want to see them go head.
Yeah, that would be fun to see.
Yeah.
That would be funner than just as to have as another event. Why not?
Alternative and
Those
whole-
People would
softball
watch
dudes
it.
Kill it. They kill it.
Yeah, they absolutely. And there's 100% they could get it. They hit it 450 feet. They could definitely get it out of a big league
Oh,
park.
easily. Which
So
I think that they have more supplements and nutrients.
you're right. More vitamins as
Yeah,
well.
more vitamins.
It's a vitamin-rich diet. We all know that. So we'll see how it plays out. All-Star break. So thanks again for joining us for another episode. Want to thank Josh, Wes for joining us. Wes,
for having me.
This Wes and Randy, Corey Vance behind the camera. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.